Get ready, because today it's going to get weird. Years ago, I was extended an invitation out of the blue to visit a planet. I'd never been there before, and at that time, I had never had an Akashic record reading client come from there either. Okay, seems legit, I thought to myself. Taking them up on their gracious invitation, I astral traveled and experienced the most bizarre world I have ever seen. I was a bit freaked out, honestly. I mean, the energy was friendly, but I couldn't wrap my head around what I was witnessing. Greeting me was a disembodied yet simplistic outline of a human smiling face. I saw all sorts of rapid movement I couldn't discern all around me. Thinking I couldn't possibly be seeing what I was seeing, I left thoroughly perplexed. How would I ever be able to explain this to someone, I thought to myself. Well, these starseed clients started coming, and I had to figure it out. So let me introduce you to the Schedarians, the inhabitants of a planet that powers the third eye chakra for the entire universe. Welcome to the channel. My name is Erin Lynn, and I wouldn't have believed my own visions of this planet if I hadn't had multiple Akashic record reading clients whose souls had originated from there confirm what I too have experienced. I often hear from them, quote unquote, "You're not going to believe this," or "good luck," when these clients book readings with me. It's as if they too can't explain what they've seen or know to be true. Schedarian starseeds are usually quite clairvoyant, meaning they are good at seeing images in their mind's eye. Usually those with Schedarian soul origins have very active third eye chakras, and they will lead with this energy in how they engage with this low dimensional world. So let's go in depth with these delightful beings who inhabit the brightest star in the W shape of the Cassiopeia Constellation. This star, with the Bayer designation of Alpha Cassiopeia, or the Arabic name of Shadar. Shadar holds an importance for all living beings in our universe. Those beings who live there prefer to be known as Schedarians by us on Earth. Since they are such a vastly different type of species to us, their way of life is so out of our understanding and what was even possible. They are a difficult alien race to describe. I will do my best. They have always been the benevolent group, and they endeavor to help us on Earth raise our collective vibrations. Shadar is another high dimensional realm that's in the 12th dimension. They have ascended from the 9th dimension. So they've never experienced a low dimension as we have as a planet. We touched on the concepts of physical versus non-physical entities and worlds in the last video featuring the Regulus. The Schedarians are the first entirely non-physical realm I have covered in this series. But don't worry, there'll be many more completely non-physical realms to be discussed in future videos. At its core, Shadar is a realm that consists of an external projection of whatever the inhabitants want it to be. Nothing is solid or physical, and nothing is unable to be changed. For lack of a better term, when the world is in its default background setting, the perceived ground or lower section of Shadar is royal blue. And then there's this green line that seems to bend into the distance. And the upper area of their world, which I'm calling their sky, is hot pink. They have a round orange sun rapidly circling the pink sky constantly. At nighttime, their pink sky turns purple. The sun never goes away or goes down, it just dims. Their world looks as if it were enclosed in a round dome with these colors projected onto the walls of a dome. However, I'm told they are not inside a dome, but it's their own simulation. Nonetheless, this simulation looks to be inside of something that has rounded edges to my perception. Whenever I have visited Shadar via astral travel, they've always kept their default background setting, which is depicted in this artist rendering. I suppose it's because they want me to see their world for how it is and not how they're making it to be at any given time. There is no limit to what they can transform or project their planet to be. For example, they can make it seem like a redwood forest or a cave or have walls that look covered in gold. They can make their simulation whatever they desire and do change it frequently. I am also told that they can also change the physical shape of their world. A realm shape change would be done to adjust the energies on a planetary scale. This is done somewhat often to maintain perfect energetic balance within their simulation. The Schedarians tell me all realms are simulations of those who live their own design and desires. Our world is our own controlled simulation. These beings have the know-how and ability to control their world simulation perfectly. In contrast, we on Earth are intentionally misled to create our world how others want it to be and not how we want it. In that respect, the Schedarians can teach us a lot. This ET species does have planetary leadership made up of the most trusted members of their society. Often these trusted souls will repeatedly have lifetimes on Shadar where they have served in leadership positions. While life is still very free there, it seems as though there are rigid hierarchical structures in how their planet operates. Also, they utilize strict structures and planning in how they go about deploying their energies out to other planets outside of Shadar. I do not understand these concepts 100% currently, but I see how their star seeds are placed strategically on Earth. There's also a hierarchy within those star seeds, those within the highest level of hierarchy being the lowest in numbers, energetically yet unconsciously to the incarnated human being while living on Earth. They are communicating and organizing energies amongst other Schedarians. These are referred to as the Master Schedarians. And the Master Schedarians are ancient souls who unconsciously and in the background of their lives manage about 200 other less experienced Schedarians located closest to them on Earth. At this time of this recording, I do not know of any other starseed group that operates in this manner. So let's discuss what the Schedarians look like. The Schedarian beings communicate almost exclusively with me through emotions and through shapes they project. I rarely get audio telepathic communication from them. Amongst the backdrop of their world, the beings themselves look like thin silver lines that create geometric shapes. These shapes can have rounded or sharp edges, and they're not limited to only geometric shapes. But these projections are not two-dimensional or flat, such as a projection on a movie screen, but they are three-dimensional. There is depth to these projection images as well. And they also tend to stick together in groups that are constantly changing in shapes in unison. The Schedarian beings are supportive of this information coming out of their world, and they are very friendly. I know this because they project to me in my mind's eye, them creating smiley faces, like human kissy lips and thumbs up signs, to encourage this information being shared. This YouTube video was created via their request. These shapes are the projections of the beings themselves. Their consciousness or souls are enclosed in small silver spheres. These silver-lined projections emanate from those spheres. Therefore, their entire existence of the Schedarian is an external projection of their reality. The silver spheres in this artist rendering are larger than they appear when visiting Shadar, but I wanted to clearly show where these projections came from. The spheres are barely noticeable because the projections are so close to you and prominent. And these shapes can also be glitchy or flash in and out as if they're rapidly changing. So you're just trying hard to focus on the shapes. Therefore, the spheres are not super noticeable. Even the plant and animal life present on Shadar are silver spheres that project externally, just like the human being counterparts. The only difference between the flora and fauna projections are that they are generally smaller in size, and these beings do not switch their projections as frequently. Regardless of the type of consciousness living on Shadar, they all exist together in harmony. The Schedarians can make any shape or design they want at any time. This is also how they communicate with each other as well. Instead of a written or spoken language, they have a shape projection language filled with various symbols. They do talk very fast with each other. I struggle to make out the various shapes because they're changing so rapidly. While I do not claim to be fluent in Schedarian shape language, there are a few figures that the Schedarians often use and wanted me to highlight in this video. Perhaps the most common shape they show me is the Merkaba. This is a well-known symbol in spiritual circles, as this sacred geometric figure means the expansion of consciousness and the light body. They use the Merkaba to symbolize a higher consciousness and psychic abilities. This is what the Schedarian realm and energies are all about. The octahedron is also a sacred geometric symbol that represents air as well as the balance between emotions and thoughts. The Schedarians work to promote the increase of mental, intellectual, and spiritual growth throughout the universe. The icosahedron, another sacred mathematical and geometric symbol that represents water. Water always finds its way and is very malleable. The water molecules are so interconnected that change in fluidity of movement is effortless. The icosahedron shape communicates an interconnectedness with everything in a harmonious way. This shape is a metaphor for the very building blocks of our universe, and is a metaphor for how the Schedarians interact with each other and their own planet. All these shapes are perfect in symmetry and balance, yet showcase the ever-changing nature of consciousness, life, and the universe itself. Schedarians are reminding us that adaptability is key to success on any realm. I have seen what I call an amoeba shape a lot when interacting with them. The little rounded arms of the amoeba move around rapidly. Then the being next to it will also join in with the same or similar shape until a bunch of them are doing it in tandem. I do not claim to know what this amoeba means, but it's worth noting. Since the Schedarians are non-physical, they do not reproduce to create other beings as we can understand it. Although they do have male and female genders in the species, I cannot tell the males apart from the females. But when a consciousness or a soul decides to have a lifetime on Shadar, a small silver sphere just shows up. A newborn Schedarian sphere measures about 6 inches or 15 centimeters in diameter and grows to be approximately 12 inches or 30 centimeters in diameter. It literally gets dropped into the world, and some adults will take care of it, put it under its wing, and teach the young Schedarian consciousness the ropes. Despite their intense otherworldliness and spiritual advancement, their species does have a natural kind of nurturing quality that really comes through strongly. Shadar is a tight-knit community that works well together, and their interactions are effortlessly in sync with each other, even when in large numbers. There is no genetic mother or father like we have. The young Schedarian beings are taught or raised by several other mature Schedarians, each adult imparting or teaching their specific expertise to the impressionable child. This creates vast familial relationships in this Schedarian's life. I suppose this is why they seem to always be connected in large groups whenever I travel there. Life is set up to have a lot of important and close connections. The Schedarian children reach full maturity after approximately 50 linear years. So they are reliant on their mentorship group for a long time. Even once full maturity is reached, the connections, love, and respect remain. Since these beings are without physical bodies, they can't get sick, nor do they feel physical pain. However, they are intelligent and spiritually advanced beings who have the capacity to love and feel emotions deeply. Therefore, a Schedarian can feel loss and emotional pain. Life on Shadar is not without any pain, just a different type, yet they have the spiritual understanding to overcome it faster and more effectively. The key is not to go through life without any negativity or nicks or scratches, so to speak, but to learn to effectively overcome these obstacles and come out the other side better. These lessons also exist on Shadar, just in a non-physical and higher dimensional way. It's just a different way to experience life and a different way to learn. They do feel the loss of loved ones when they pass away. Schedarian DNA is set up for a lifetime to last about 800 linear years. I'm shown when a being is aging and getting close to that 800-year mark. Their projections get weaker and less active. Over time, their sphere or consciousness housing will simply disintegrate, leaving just as suddenly as it arrived centuries earlier. Usually at the time of disintegration, the ailing Schedarian will be surrounded by those that they were closest to in that life. Their friends and family send supportive energies to them as this transition is occurring. Several Schedarian beings will be circling the one perishing while sending a golden geometric web of energy, lifting it up with care. It's very sweet and very sad at the same time. Just because they may look and live very different than us, it doesn't mean that their social connections are any less intense than ours. I'm told that there's never a particularly large population inhabiting the planet at any given time. Their population is closely controlled, and a soul must wait until there's a space available for them to begin a lifetime there. Schedarian lifetime availability is first given to a soul who originated from there before it's offered to a new soul wanting to experience life on Shadar for the first time. Schedarian beings do not eat food or drink water. They survive on the ether and energy of their planet. It appears as if the act of projecting and changing their shapes is how they generate the energy to maintain their life forces. So if a Schedarian stops projecting and or communicating, their life force decreases, and they can pass away from that. This is why I see the elderly beings that are close to life's end not projecting much, and it being a struggle for them to do so. Since communicating in this way is how they eat, it could be why they are constantly changing their shape to survive. On Shadar, there are no homes, buildings, or tangible structures of any kind. Doesn't even seem to have any weather patterns, so there's no need to shelter themselves. These beings also do not need to sleep. So let's talk about Shadar's relationship to the third eye chakra. In addition to being inexplicable yet fascinating, Shadar has a special and important task within our universe. This planet is the power source or generator for the third eye chakra energy for all universal consciousness. Interestingly, this task was not always theirs, but it's been passed along to them from another planet once they reached the 12th dimension. And this shows just how our universe is also evolving and changing even amongst the highest and most evolved dimensions. Shadar is instrumental to life and the ability for consciousness to have psychic abilities. The Schedarians tell me they are focused on the quote unquote psychic representation of self. This means a focus on how our perceptions that are housed within our third eye chakras see the world, not necessarily how it may be tangibly. We are all projecting our perceptions onto the world in front of us and behaving and existing accordingly. This is the same whether we're living on Earth or anywhere else. Many of my Schedarian starseed clients report feeling a tingling sensation between their eyebrows on their foreheads when they get stimulated by a viewed image or symbol or an idea. Crop circles seem to be a big one for them. And this was literally their third eye energy center being activated. Since the Schedarians are completely non-physical and only use the power of their psychic abilities as technology, they do not have any use for any spaceships or UFOs. This is not to say that they isolate themselves and they don't serve the rest of the universe. These beings do assist in the Galactic Federation of Light via energies. This ET race is extremely powerful in what it can manifest and change in the universe without lifting a proverbial finger. No Schedarian in its natural form has ever been on Earth, but about 5,000 years ago, some trusted souls from their homeworld have incarnated into earthly human bodies. They are also currently testing their Schedarian energies on Earth and assisting in that way to help raise the vibration of this planet. It is my understanding that they hope to have more of a relationship with Earth in the future. They are helping to increase Earth's dimension so that the energies can be better understood by us. I hope you enjoyed learning about the unique Schedarians. This group illustrates that not all alien life consists of the stereotypical little green men in flying saucers wearing spacesuits. This ET group really makes us rethink what it means to live and what life entails. We on Earth hold a very narrow understanding of the various ways existence can be expressed. Any alien groups mentioned in this video that I've made videos about previously will be linked below in the show notes. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments. I hope I was able to articulate clearly enough about the Schedarian energies and way of life. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, kindly subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos highlighting other previously unknown alien races in the universe. Should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to the website is below. In the meantime, I love you all and welcome to a higher dimension.